Um, Thank you, everyone, for joining me here. I really appreciate you all. In this world, the wealth. By the way, let me just check in to see whether everyone. No, 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 Oluchi. Thank you. Thank you for the super work you're doing. Thank you for the super work. Thank you. These things happen. The internet is very interesting. Thank you so much. All right, for everyone listening to me, apologies. We had internet glitches. Apologies, we had internet glitches. I'm going to start shortly, um, and I hope that I'm able to give you some key insights into what you can do to future proof your career. If you are just going to NYSC or just finished NYSC, NYSC is the National Youth Service Scheme in Nigeria. All right, I'm excited to be here. Thanks to Emeka and the entire team uh, for having me. I hopefully will be able to, like I said, do this in a very short time. Okay. If you are able to hear me, send me a thumbs up or something in the chat so that I know that you can hear me. So all over the world, very quickly, it is clear that the wealth of the majority of the world is in the hands of top few percentage. Let me say that again. The wealth of the majority of persons in the world is in the hands of very few people. Uh, In fact, in the United States, the wealth, 80% of the wealth, 95%, or even 98% of the wealth of the United States and many nations in the world is skewed this way, is in the hands of top 1%. This presentation is about getting you into that room and that league and helping you to succeed at that level. How do you capitalize and be a person of advantage? What is your 1% strategic plan? How do you rewrite your name and remove yourself from the low quadrants of existence into this top 1%? Some of the things I'm going to be sharing with you, I wish I knew as a younger person. I finished my own NYSC there about the year 2003. Then that's about 20 years ago, if you think about it. And I've been here, done that, done different things. You can check my profile online. By the way, please follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and on LinkedIn, and let's interact some deeper. All right, there are two core members. One is named Ali, and the other one Aisha. Ali was lost in survival mode, so they can either be in survival mode or you want to be a trailblazer. There's an old game. There's a way people used to play the NYSC game before, or if you just left university or college, there's a way to think about your life and your success. And Ali was playing that game. What's going to happen is that I really pray you don't become Ali. But what's going to happen is that eventually you will behave like Ali. Many people who follow that route will eventually be trapped in the old game. Many people who play that game will eventually not be able to do much with their success. That's because there is a script and there's a way that this game is being played. And it doesn't matter how intelligent you really are, it doesn't matter how brilliant you really are. At the end of the day, it's a very complex place to be. And if you are there, I invite you over to the Aisha side of the conversation. What's going to happen to Ali is that Ali will be trapped in the what I call psycho-emotional blackmail. You'll be waiting for validation, applying up and down. You follow the crowd. But Aisha built microsystems. You see, I'm a futurist, and I have worked across different sectors of the economy in Nigeria, in Europe, and the United Kingdom, some brief work within the West African coast. Apart from Nigeria, I did some work covering Benin, Togo, that's and Ghana. That's when I was in my days at MTN, and also did some cross project work with some people in South Africa. Also did my MTN days, and now in the United Kingdom, much more since after COVID. So, what's my bigger point? I've seen all sorts, and I have a benefit of understanding the future and trying to retrace that back into the present. You see, the future belongs to those who can create their own path. Let me say this. This is not just for NYSC. I hope to create a metamorphosis, the origin of your story, and bringing to pass the original part of you. Now, organized statistics say that this is not a reality check, this is brutality check. So that's brutal reality check. 42% of Nigerians who are finishing the National Youth Service Scheme are unemployed and will be unemployed. In my opinion, and reflecting carefully about this, I think it is more than 42%. I think it's about 70 to 72 to 78 to 80%, but that's fine. Let's say 42%, because that's what the statistics says. Inflation is at 29.9, and there are 70% graduates who are unemployed. I think that's actually closer to reality. Are you going to be part of these people, or you want to be different? Ladies and gentlemen, please make no mistake about it. As you look closely at the critical data you have in front of you, and as you examine the landscape of the environment around you, what is absolutely clear and what we must always understand as individuals is that anything you have as a degree, they are passports to nowhere. The only way you can make a difference for yourself and your life is by creating systems and identity, and those are the passports of destiny. Let me say that again. Degrees are passports to nowheres, and systems and identity is the only way you can future proof yourself, because when you have a system, you can repeat the success. It's not a matter of happenstance or externals. You must build within your being. You must put within yourself the locus of authority to succeed despite the adversity in the environment. You must burn at a level that is higher than the environment temperature. You see, there are many people with degrees more than a thermometer, but they cannot even solve the littlest problems in the environment. We have an economy that is practical and real and has no respect for what you know if it cannot deliver results on the ground. You need to become an asset and find a system that moves you permanently from the liability side of life to the asset side of life in the shorter, the mid, and the longer term. And you must maintain this cutting edge all the days of your life. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. The law of value is what is playing out in the Nigerian economy, I dare say. I'm also a psychologist with a lot of understanding in behavioral psychology, and I've coined together the secret of the architecture. The word architecture, it refers to how buildings are built and the systems that make buildings to stand. How do the top 1% get there? What is the difference between the top 1% in the world and the remaining 90 something percent? What are the secrets that make everybody want to work with the 1%? What do they know that many of us do not know? Number one, as a matter of scientific fact, and at the end of this presentation, I'll give you a list of the materials, my sources of reference, and where you can get all of these insights. I hope you're listening to me. I hope I'm communicating, and I hope you are not asleep yet. Apologies about the transmission earlier again. We had challenges with the stream because of soundtrack issues, and YouTube interrupted the stream. Serious apologies about that. Please bear with us. All right. Number one, the top 1% have developed systems beyond goals. There's a lot of goal setting classes all over everywhere. The school of this 1% is that they have systems. You must go beyond goal setting. Goal setting is rooted in the science of motivation, the idea, and I wish we finish the Coach Carter movie, like I was saying earlier, you must go beyond motivation to systemic ability to deliver results. Your motivation must not be yesterday, today he wins, tomorrow he wins. No, you must have a system that delivers whether you are sleeping or awake. This is the way the top 1% in the world thinks. These are the secret things they know and that they do. Once they put it in place, it doesn't matter wherever they are able to get results at a level that is totally unprecedented. I'm telling you, there's a whole big, large body of research. And by the way, Emeka and I are putting together some things with a few good friends. We want to create and make this 1% common. We want this 1% to be common. I'm a mentor and a coach to the richest of the richest and the top 1% in the world. And I'm ready to start at the lowest end and same for Emeka and all the people that will be working with us in the next year and two. By extension 2, we will develop these systems and we're going to help a lot of people move into the top 1%. You see, what the system does for you, it helps you to build identity that will outlast an internal state of mind. Whether you are motivated or demotivated, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you have an identity, and that identity is able to create for you results, even when the economy fails, even when the system fails, even when everything around you fails. There is a way you can enter into systemic lifestyle. You would even see the failure before it happens and you know what to do to address it. But if what you're trusting is still the next goal setting meeting, goals can fail. But systems are difficult to be failed or to be failures. The reason is because systems already design failure. There's what is called fail overthinking. Those are the engineering, which talks about how you're going to mitigate. And there are also systems like anti-fragility. There are also system parameters like anti-fragility. You see, there's system resilience, that the system doesn't break down, or that it can cope if there's a breakdown. That's resilience. But beyond resilience, there's anti-fragility, where the system can capitalize on the problem to even blossom higher. Develop systems thinking habits, develop system thinking identity, develop system thinking capabilities. This is the way the top 1% maintain control over the wealth of the universe. Number 2, neuroplasticity. Is the philosophy, I don't want to use big grammar, is a characteristic of the human brain that shows that you can grow or ungrow, meaning you can either increase your brain capability of function or reduce it. The brain is always reconstructing, rearranging, refabricating, reknitting, reweaving itself. If they were to take your gray matter continuously on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis, scientists have found out that the human brain and the capacity of the human being for cognition, the science of all forms of intelligence, can grow or reduce. If it grows, fine. If it reduces, it's called atrophy, meaning that when you don't use it, you can lose it. So the brain is able to expand and move. This is the key to every habit that reshapes your brain wiring as a human being. This is simple. You need to know that you are able, you need to be aware that your abilities are neuroplastic and the plasticity is infinite. There is nothing you cannot achieve or do. There's no skill set that you cannot learn or master because you are wired in a certain way biologically to grow and expand based on application and use. That, as a matter of fact, you are most likely underutilizing the current capacity in your neural wiring. That this wiring is not like physics, it's biological, and you can carry more information, you can become more brilliant, you can become more fabulous, you can become more powerful, you can become more deep. There is nothing you set your mind to. I think it was the good philosopher and thinker, Reverend Dr. Newton Sidney Bremer, who said, whatever, this is a motivational quotes, this is rooted in psychology and deep biological research. He says, whatsoever you vividly imagine, wholeheartedly desire, shall inevitably come to pass. Because the human being, and I'm not paraphrasing, because the human being is a being of expandable habits. If you were able to master a skill at let's say 3 weeks today, next week, next year, you can master the same skill set in a faster time. And there's loads of research, loads of circumstances, again, that's proof this. There were athletes that in the morning, nobody could run 9.9 seconds, 9 minutes, 9 seconds, remember, for the athletes 100-meter race. And by evening, two people had actually outdone the man who did 9.9. Neuroplasticity means that you are wired a certain way, and that wiring can be tuned for increased capacity or less by habit formation and reformation. Let me break that down again. Neuroplasticity is the science that shows us from biology, from basic biology, that there are people, for example, who had accidents and now they had to cut off some of their brains. They are only operating on half brains, and then they go check the brain after some years. The other half has grown capacities, and by the accident and by the way they had operated half of the brain, they should not be able to be, they should be in vegetative state all their life. No, the brain grows back. That's the first thing the scientists noticed. This is popular in biology. Go check the research around neuroplasticity. Number two, the brain grew back to the original size. The brain began to grow the cells so that the brain now had all the things that was lost before, and the person was functioning in a way as if, and all their habits that they used to do before was also working well in a way as if the accident never happened. In fact, in many cases, they went ahead and they got awards and they became more successful, and people now came to know them for very big things. Please, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the core secrets of the top 1%. They use their neuroplastic element in a very powerful way. All right, let me describe the remaining two I have. The list is long, and I will encourage you to read up on them. All right, there's something called meta learning or advanced learning, the skill set that makes you to learn what you can learn in years in a shorter time. There are people who can read 10,000 years of material in, let's say, 5 to 10 years. There are systems that make this happen. I'm trying to expose your mind. Say the world we are in today, you must grow into the place of the 1%. There is a lot to do and to learn, because I believe and I know for a fact that this is the way these previous guys have gotten there. If you follow this pathway and develop this skill set, there's almost nothing you set your mind to that you will not be able to achieve. It will be easier for you to move your mind and your habits in the direction of this 1%. We need many more of them. Africa remains significantly poor because we have less of such thinkers in Africa. Majority of us are very temporal, ephemeral, immediate, and politics and stomach infrastructure is the system that runs Africa as an economy. We must move into the level of cerebral intelligence that can help us create another, and please, I use the word cerebral, meaning practical solutions coming from the human mind. I totally abhor the current poverty in Africa, and I know that we can change our story. By the way, God did not create poverty. God created man. Man created poverty. All things like scarcity, alternative, forgone, the concept of choice, micro, meso, macroeconomics, those things were created by human beings and not God ab initio. Right? It's human beings who created them to keep people in regulation and in check. We can change the story and re-narrate and redistribute wealth. And that's why I'm teaching this particular thinking and this standpoint for a coming generation to understand the things I wish I was told about how and who I am, so that I can better position myself for the results that make 131%. Whew. I agency. The idea or the principle that I own all the outcomes, nobody's responsible. There's no agent anywhere. I'm the one. It doesn't matter which uncle or auntie didn't help me. It doesn't matter who did not give me help. It doesn't matter who refused to come with me. It doesn't matter who decides to do something with me. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, it all belongs to me. I own the outcome. I own the outcome. This responsibility thinking, in between these four cardinal principles, you will future proof your career beyond any principle. That you listen, if you become so rich today, you are the first beneficiary. Out there, when the problems are there, you don't want to be the first owner of the crisis. It doesn't matter. Oh, I was born on the where there was no tracks, those things. I was born with a wooden spoon, those jokes that we make from anywhere you are from. Ladies and gentlemen, that's everyone's story. I can begin to give you, I think it was the late Owele of Onitsha, the Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe, who once said, I think that's the first premier of the Western region. I think that, yes, Chief Nnamdi Dr. Azikiwe. He said, when they gave birth to me, the seers prophesied a checkered future. Then I'm not paraphrasing, he said, but with my God, I was able to make a difference. And I've changed the story. They said that he was born in a small hut in Kaduna, and they said it never amounted to much. The rest is history. He became the prime minister, and he did very well as a leader. Now, what's my bigger point? You're not doomed by anything. It's a habit that continues to enslave us. As leaders who will enter the top 1%, these are the building blocks. I'm not even giving you a list of habits. All I'm saying is understand the terrain of your mind. And let's go on now because I want to round up very quickly. There are different habits that you must build. But there's something called the inner command center map, where you do some things every day in little bits and pieces, and you progress a lot in power. We don't have time to break it down, and I'll probably share more details with Emeka. If Emeka is happy with you and you have found favor in Emeka's eyes, in quote, you can ask him about the mentorship group, and he will actually plug into that, where we intend to break some of these principles down and teach how to actually imbibe them over the next 1 or 2 years. For everybody in NYSC, you have no business in pursuant of crisis and money, and no, you don't have any business. Ladies and gentlemen, you have more business to empower yourself to develop the inner systems and capacity so that you can actually weather the storm and you can actually grow through whatever is coming. That storms will come in your future is not an issue. That you will overcome and emerge as the 1% is the issue. That you not begin to blame victim mentality. You're not going to begin to blame no one. You're going to think outcomes and be very successful. So there's, for example, something called the money victory system. There are people who are in this top 1%. They wake up very early and they do very deep work in the morning. And three factors we saw. They are early risers, they do very deep work in the morning, and they are full of gratitude as an attitude. By afternoon, evening, they begin to wane. There's also the second kind of psyche mindset map we notice. There is a deliberate learning engine, like a monthly book, quarterly skill acquisition. They learn and learn. They are consummate learners. They learn every day, every minute. They are finding answers to questions. And then there's something they ask you quickly. They are always there wanting to hear what is next, wanting to learn something. That is the hallmark of those guys. Number 3 is that they have a strong relationship and they engineer anticipatory networks. They don't wait until there's a need. They build the networks in advance that will take them to their next level. There are many of us who are very, very one-sided. There are people who I watch. Once they get a little result from you, they go away. Once they get a little solution from you, they go away. Once they get a little idea from you, they go away. What they don't know is that there is a lot still from the same person. You can't keep using people and expect that you're going to get a better result. No, you must put your energy into genuine people development. When I say people development, people, you must want to contribute value to people's lives too, not just a one-way traffic. So you must have your own strategy to develop relationships in the short, mid, and long term that will help you. And finally, you must think about a financial fortress system. All of these have breakdowns. For example, some people do 30% saving. I know someone who does 50% saving. I know a guy who used to do 60 or 70% saving until later in life he could not afford it anymore. But for the first 5 years after we left NYSC, was always doing like 50% savings and he's doing fine today in his career. There's also the idea of micro invest, the ability to invest small bits and pieces and grow that portfolio up, not wait until one large day they can push something and then money start coming out like that for you. No, you have to build your financial system quietly by these factors. I mean, I just chose 3 out of about 10. 30% saving for starters because you want to build wealth. The richest man in Babylon system, 10%, but you must keep a certain amount aside continuously. There's micro investing, and then you begin to buy asset. I can actually give you the template to build your inner command center later on. I'll discuss with Emeka to give that to registered participants. The other thing I think you would need after studying some of these rich men and women all over the world is that you must do skill stacking. You must do skill stacking. Please look for skills that are rare, solve difficult problems, solve hard problems, be able to solve hard problems. If you're going to be relevant in the coming future, the more deeper the problem you can solve, the easier it will be for people to pay you higher. If you solve what everybody is solving, why should I pay you? Number two, you must have an entrepreneurial mindset, which is you must be able to build, buy, invest. You must not be a naive person when it comes to entrepreneurship. In fact, if you have a job, you must go to job as if you're an entrepreneur because it's a profit and loss game. When you help us make more money, we retain you. If you are consuming more than you're helping us to make, then we'll fire you. Many people who are employees have employee mentality. That's a very weak mentality. Where is your boss going to get the money to pay you? This 30th coming, how much have you earned for Imoha? And this is not you being totally, totally personal, your own space. No, ask yourself how much am I going to contribute to this person's ability to pay my salary this year, this week, this month. At the end of the day, have you earned the salary for that day? In that, if we were to come to look for you, have you done anything why we should even pay you at all? Or we're browsing and surfing the internet, greeting all your friends on social media, Snapchat. Don't let me become honorable by here. Who said Pepe Soup? Face chatting, sorry, Snapchatting, Facebooking. That use those words, but that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, are you sure your hour is worth anything? There are people who I see, as in that category, once they have small money in their pocket, that's the first $300. They stop greeting people very well, they start carrying their shoulder until they know that thing is small. So develop a habit that is not satisfied with very small things. So you begin to misbehave and lose your cool on top of very small thing. It's very important that you grow the mindset as entrepreneurial and want higher things and better things, and you're willing to work hard for it and not truncate anything in the middle. Go for the full package. Network engineering. You must find power nodes. You must find energy flows that will sustain your future. You see, energy will flow through a network. If you have a lot of energy and there's no network around you, so in addition to finding your flow, you must find direction of flow. That's what I mean by that, finding energy flow. You must find where the energy is going to flow to. Who will be your friend? You must be deliberate about selecting your friends and take a lot of care, a lot of strategic wisdom. And you must be a master at bringing at the correct time the kind of people that will help you. I know you're a child of God. I know you're a Christian. You don't need any prayer for God to link you to who you will go to, but at least you will stand up and go by the time he shows you. What's the bigger point? Have a network. Don't wait until you are told by God to go have a network. You need a network now. That's the only way life works. You need other human beings to work with you to achieve some things. That is the way it works. You need other people. You need to find your own team. It is absolutely important. People who will take the bullet for you. Ladies and gentlemen, as you round up your NYSC or you're about to go into NYSC, know that you're embarking on the hero's journey. For many heroes, it's a call to adventure. There will be some discomfort. There will be some discomfort. There will be some discomfort. You face some trials, but know that you will return transformed. And there's a formula. There will be some pain. You must apply patience to the pain And brutal, relentless, continuous consistency is what will make you a dominant factor and help you climb to the top of the uh, uh, tornado or the top of the active volcano site, as you can see there. We need people that can stand the rema and not drop the tide. We need people that can stand the test of time, that can stand the revelation. I'm useful. I'm careful at the words I'm using, but those words are useful. They can stand the insight they've seen. They can stand the mental picture of what they've seen. They can stand the negativities of what they've seen to continue to achieve what they have in mind is a big deal, and that is a big thing. And whenever those kind of places exist, it's a matter of time you will get to where you are going. Yes, with the top 1%, you still have a new identity. Um, you must find from the beginning what that identity at the top will be. Or you may not know the full picture, but start a journey. Number two, you must design your 1% system map. How would you get there? Now, if you join the group, the bigger group, WhatsApp group of mentoring, I will be breaking this down progressively. And you must have public commitment to a positive circle. Only the 1% do hidden work that changes everything. Every other person is just working and coming after them. You must put things like emotional storytelling skill set into your toolbox. You must have the ability to loop your habits as a scientific. You must know how habits work. You must know how to turn yourself into a performance engine. You must know how to increase your ability to manage yourself deliberately. And then you must understand consistency and how you must use the society to drive your personal commitment. You cannot do greatness in isolation, but I counsel you to be careful what information you release per time and be very wise. Also, there's something called flow states. There's a state where you are in and you have hyper productivity or productivity at the level of hyper. There's a state like that. If you're in that class, I'm going to share about how to achieve flow state or beta state of success. All right. This is me saying, let your life have design. Uh, this is a part of the um, life map session I did with someone. We started with a few things. She said she wants her life to be like a movie. So I said, you want your life to have a cinematic background. So every in her background, all the negativities that she has ever been through in her background, we turned that into cinema like movie. The narration became much more interesting. Every pain she went through, she could laugh about it. We went back into our past to do a scripting of our experiences and re-narrate our experiences to give her the opportunities for a higher and a better place. Now, alter bold topography, because I did a slide for her and she was designing the slide by herself. She said she wanted something very bold and audacious, and so the wordings we used, I'm trying to make you see this one small exercise that we did. We had to give a story an aesthetic. It had to be something deep. You must become this deliberate. It's a design, it's a personal matter of life design. I think I said that on the next class. And we also used heroic imagery. Actually, this imagery came from one of her sessions, this imagery of somebody. The hotter the volcano side, the stronger she was standing on top of it. So it means that there'll be some attacks, there'll be some uncomfortable moments, there'll be some heat, but she would rather be on top of the pie. She is deadly desperate to be on top. It doesn't matter what you say, she can stand the heat. It doesn't matter even if the heat looks like it's going to roast her like barbecue, she will just be on top. She prefers the mountain. There are people who like to be on the peak, but they don't like the volcano. They like to be the star, but they cannot stand the spotlight. They say, I don't want stress. You have to choose one, my good friend. You cannot afford. And so we did all of that for her. We put a soundtrack. I couldn't, because I didn't get her to give me consent. I couldn't give you. Now, these are materials that I used as references. Atomic Habits, Deep Work, Ultra Learning, the World Economic Forum, Future of Jobs in 2025, jobs are disappearing in a lot of them. There's a long list. the McKinsey Future of Work, the Harvard Brain Plasticity Studies, and the principles of the 1% rule. All right, so here are my final words. Start today, take action. Join that WhatsApp group if you've not. You can ask Emeka or ask me, and I'll link it to the guys who are going to add you. If you want to, you must build consistent systems that create excellence, and it must be existential, and it must be meaning must be daily, and you will emerge at the end of the day. Welcome to the 1% moment. So over the next 90 days, if you're going to NYSC, 1 year is not far. What will you do in the next 90 days? Design your first 90-day transformation plan. What habits will you engineer? What skills do you want to stack? And what are the elite capacity groups that you want to join, like the WhatsApp group that we are working on? I also want to share a list of skill sets that I think will be very important for the future. I will share them in the chat. You must master them. You must. Somebody say, Emeka, let me find favor. Yeah, you are favored in Jesus' name. Permit me, I'm a Christian. So let me put the books and the title of the authors in the books and the reports. I'll put all of that in the chat, right? So that you can also benefit from them. You can't afford not to be an insider into the 1% economy. We're building a 1% economy, and you must be in that economy. You are not allowed to be left out, all right? You're not allowed to be left out. Those are the books. Those are the books, and I think you should take advantage of them. They are right there in the chat. Let me look for the other ones so that you can actually benefit from having the requisite intelligence, right? I put the reports in there for you too. They can actually go in. That's my reference. It's in the chat right now. Please make me put that into LinkedIn under the post on LinkedIn, because I think I'm streaming secondly from LinkedIn. Yeah. I also want to put something around the skill sets of the future. All right. I think I put them already. All right. Sorry. I don't know what happened. Career multipliers. Okay. Just a minute. Let me put that also for you in the chat. You need it seriously. Skill stacking. You can't afford to have just one skill set, and you're very totally. What's the word I want to use with that now? You don't even care whose horse is God. No, you can't do that. Okay, there's some skill sets that will be very useful in the future for all graduates. I'm looking for that skill set. I have it somewhere in my notes, and I'll share the other information on the WhatsApp group when we start. Give me just 1 more minute. By the way, you can put your question in the chat. Let's talk. Put your questions in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. Let's talk quickly. All right. Let me see. Emeka, someone can read the questions for me. Hello. Am I audible? Hello. I hope I'm audible. Hello, am I audible? Can everyone hear me? Am I the only one in the studio? Oh, for real? Oh, okay, I see. The only one in the studio. All right. I'm rounding up. Let me hear your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Because I'm almost actually done here. Questions from ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Since I'm not getting any feedbacks, I'm not getting any questions, I think everything is clear. Okay. Let me just quickly paste the. Okay, all well is here. All well, can you just please help me if there's any question that I need to answer, and I put a list of skill sets that people need to master in the chat. Right? I'm putting this list of skill sets. All right.
Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. So, currently on the comment section, there is no question so far. So, I'm looking out for persons, for people to drop their comments.
Okay. Thank you. Let me just do the list of the skills that are needed for the future. It looks like I probably have to do this in a Word document. Okay, I'll probably try and drop the Word document so people can have a look at it later on. Okay, thank you so much for that. If there are no questions, then maybe I will yield the mic to the organizers after I put together the Word document, and then we'll round it up from there. All right, any comments then after this? Any comments after this? Okay, thank you so much. I hand over to you. I will send in the document to Emeka by WhatsApp so you can share with the people that registered for the event. I hope that works. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Hello, can you hear
Okay,
me?
thank you so much, sir. Yeah,
All
I
right.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear
Yeah,
you.
thank you, sir. Thank you for.
All right. All right. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Have a
for
good. So
having us.
please follow. Yes, please follow me on social media and put a comment under the posts on social media. Please follow me on social media,
I've
everyone. Thank you so much.
really,
Okay. Oh, the line is
really
breaking.
enjoyed the session.
Okay. Emeka, we can't hear you. All well, can you hear us?
So currently, we don't have any.
Okay, I guess we lost Owen there. Thank you very much, Coach David, for having us. I jot down a whole lot. I know those that are watching live also jot down a whole lot. If there is something that stood out for me is the comment you made on the only thing we've got is personal development. That stood out for me a whole lot. I got nothing on air. The only thing I have on myself is to develop myself personally. Thank you for saying that, sir. I'm really, really grateful. Please, I want to really know if anyone can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes,
I can hear
yes,
you.
we can hear you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Oluchi. Thank you for that. So I would want to confirm from our speaker. Okay, sir, please, sir, hold on. I think someone has a question. Someone is asking, how best can one operate for a life? How best can one prepare for a life before and after NYSC? Did you get me?
Yes. Number one, build a system. Go beyond goal setting to systems thinking. What will be your 1% plan? What systems are you going to build now? Not just goal setting. What system? You see, because you are in a stage where there's a lot of time on your hands, think about the systems you're going to build now to give you the kind of future you are looking for. Go for courses like systems thinking, systems analysis. How do you understand yourself as a system and your future as a system? Develop the ability to understand your systems, your personal system, and the systems that you need for the growth you are looking for. Until you answer that systems question, don't even bother thinking about anything else. Go gather that systems thinking and use that for yourself to now build the things you need for the future you are going for. And that you now lay on top of your habit. What habits do you need? What kind of mental capacities? How is the mind of, for example, you want to enter the top 1%? How is your mind programmed? Who can answer that question for you? You must answer that question. How did they arrive at the things that they do? How come their minds are the way their minds are? Those are questions to ask. You must acquire that mindset. Are you going to read? Are you going to join a reading club? Are you going to join an influential club like what Emeka and I are putting together? What are you trying to do? And you must also surround yourself with like-minded people, not people who are very envious but pretending to be motivational. And a lot of them actually nowadays, they're also very motivational, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of envy and jealousy going around. And their energy will always want to destroy what you're doing. So you must be able to understand the energy flow and people you can work with the short, mid, to long run, and then decide how you want to live your life from there. I hope I answered well.
Okay, yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for the question you answered. Um, so I want to ask something. It's like a personal stuff to me. So you know,
Yeah.
when we talk about this NYSC stuff, when we talk about NYSC, we get to like as a lot of things come into our head. Personally, I'm speaking for myself. So I'll be like, okay, when I go to like as in considering what is happening in our country now, considering our state, like how do you think corp members can effectively build a meaningful professional network during NYSC? I don't know if you get my question. There are
Yes,
a lot
I
of
do.
persons.
I do. I do.
Yes.
I was sharing a few things with Coach Emeka the other. Number one, you must be on networking platforms like LinkedIn. Number two, your social media handles, TikTok, Facebook, who are you connected to? Number three, whatever industry you belong to primarily, do you go for their industry meetings? If you're an engineer, are you a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers around you? If you want to be an AI engineer, whatever you are planning to be, how many people do you know who have achieved that thing you're trying to do and who can give you credible counsel in that area? If you get what I mean, you must network heavily in that area. No, apart from network, and people that can give you information, apart from networking, what else, apart from networking, what do you want to design in terms of your future? There's a whole framework around designing your future. Do you want to become number one broadcaster, for example, in the state you are in? So, what are the skill sets to achieving that? But in a case where AI begins to, for example, begins to own that space, what will you do next? Will you go and train yourself in AI now and how journalists use it to actually co-present the news with themselves? I mean, there's just a lot you can do, but you must sign up. You cannot afford to be at the show and be looking at things from your room, or you're not joining any club, you're not doing anything, just in your room, just browsing. And from there, you won't, no, no, no. You have to start from where you are powerful and groom yourself up with speed and very quickly, if you get what I mean.
Okay, sir.
Hello?
Yes, I thank you for that. Thank you for that. I still want to
Mm.
get something like still on that question. Considering this, like I said, considering our country, that's Nigeria. Now let's look at it this way. In our economy now, like Nigeria, where opportunities often come through relationship. What practical step can COP members take, to become visible to decision makers during NYSC?
Um, Coincidentally, Emeka and I did some work in this area. Number one, you must spotlight your idea. Now I say you must invest. Spotlight your idea. What is that idea you want them to hear? You can't communicate empty. You can't communicate what does not exist. What is that thing? Let's for example, you're like, for example, you examine yourself and you see that you're like Emeka who likes to help farmers. Start doing videos and posting online. Start covering the stories of farmers. Use storytelling tools and techniques. Make it informative, well packaged. Trust me, somebody, maybe the commissioner in your state is watching the video. Once you do it well and you package and put on social media, it's as good as in a very good place. Stage two is that you can go to a media house, the TV station of the state. Because you're a copper, they have airtime for this, but people will not know that is many state radio stations and TV stations, even federal stations have coppers radio airtime and TV airtime. Many people don't believe, they don't know. Go there, ask them questions. There's basically a press club. Your friends in the press club among the coppers know. I was deputy editor in chief during my days as a copper. So go there and ask them questions. By the time you ask questions, it's going to be very easy for you to move yourself forward, if you get what I mean.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
The other thing is
Thank you
go
so
for
much.
skill.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, the other thing is go for skill acquisition. That's my last comment. Go for very heavy skills acquisition. That's the last thing I like to say. Yeah, thank you. I yield the mic now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Sir,
Yes,
one more
sir.
thing. One more thing, sir. I got a
I think we lost T-Boy there. So, sir, the question that T-Boy wanted to ask is one of us asked the question in an economy like Nigeria. But if I continue, sir, please, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
Okay. In an economy like Nigeria, where opportunities often come through relationship, I know we've asked this question before. So, what will you advise a co? Okay. What can you advise a core member who have zero background in building network or in relationship? How do you advise such person to come up hither to the 1%, like you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, remember you're on social media. You're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram. Start meeting people who are credible. Start looking at content in that area and start grooming yourself. The other thing, you can go to events where these kind of people come. And another good one is volunteerism. Go do volunteer work with organizations and people that are in that area. And volunteerism, you can afford not to get paid for a little while. You can say, please, I'd like to work with you just to gain the experience. And so Udemy courses, Coursera courses, Google Learning, Facebook also has a learning platform. Many people don't know that Facebook has its own learning platform too. TikTok is always, there's loads of materials. YouTubers, loads. YouTube is the biggest university anyway now in the world. That's what it's called. What's the bigger point? There's now democratization of learning and learning platforms. Go learn something powerful. That's what I want. That's my counsel to that person.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We are really grateful. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for staying put even when the network went on and off. Thank you for doing this with us. All of us as future proof, we are so grateful to you. We can't thank you enough. We are grateful. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you much more. Thank you much. Have a good afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Do have a lovely weekend, sir.
You too. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Not wasting much of our time again. Let's welcome our second speaker, Barrister Lukman Adu. Please, can you make the noise in the comment section, please?
Thank you.
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Hmm.
Welcome, Mr. Barrister Lukman.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is ours. The floor is yours,
Okay.
sir.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much.
At the University of Essex, England, as a traveling scholar.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Go on.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Um, and I'm sorry I'm joining late. There are some emergencies that I had to attend to before joining here, so I hope you bear with me. I have to be the first speaker, I guess, on the basis of the agenda that I saw before. So, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. On the basis of the considering the fact that we don't have much of a time remaining, I would like to talk about some certain things that I believe is important for corpus or those who are starting their career to take notice of that. I think one thing that stood out for me as a young person is understanding the fact that you have to know yourself first of all and what you want and where you are going. I have the opportunity to speak to, I mean, thousands of young people across the world. And one thing that I kept sharing is the fact that we need to know who we are and what we really want and where we are going. Because when you don't know or understand who you are, you might not really and truly know what you want. And if you don't know what you truly want, chances are you don't have a vision of where you're going, where exactly you're going. And if you don't clearly know where you're going, every wind of distraction is favorable to you. It might take you to where you may not really like. So please, we need to understand who we are, what we want, and where we are going. Understanding these three questions will channel our energies, the way we look up global opportunities and other stuff like that. So it's important. I often at times I think the last time that I shared my story of riding Okada on the street of Lagos last year, it drew so many attention on different social media platforms. But one thing that I share with people is that right from 2015, 2016, 2017, when I was riding Okada on the street of Lagos, I understood who I am. I mean, I exactly knew where I was going and what I wanted out of this stream of global opportunities. And that made the journey even easier for me. And it made me to even believe in myself more because can you imagine being on the street is not that easy. People will be telling you all sort of things that if you mistakenly believe in it, then you get lost. So it's important for us to truly know who we are, what we want, and where we are going. I don't know. Am I speaking to myself, please? Let me know if I'm making sense. Am I communicating? Hello? Hello?
Sir, we can hear you. We can
Can you
hear
hear
you
me,
loud and
please?
clear, sir.
Oh, all
Yes, sir,
right.
we can
So,
hear you.
So it's important, I believe, for you to understand who we are, and of course what we want out of this stream of opportunities where we are going. And secondly, the second point is that after you know who you are, what you want, and where you're going, the second thing is to believe in yourself. I know, yes, it may sound as a cliche for everyone out there to be telling you that believe in yourself or believe in yourself without really teaching you how to do that. But it's important out of almost everything to know who you are and to believe in the possibility of tomorrow. Because if you don't believe in your your picture of tomorrow, the vision, you might not really pursue it with everything that you have. I remember in 2021 to 2022 when I was posted to a law firm in one state during my NYSC, it was really challenging for me due to the fact that the law firm that I was posted in didn't appreciate the fact that as a co and a lawyer, you bring something to the table. You know, when you're starting your career as a young person and a co there are so many challenges out there that tend to undermine you and underrate you. But you have to believe in yourself. I remember most of the times during my NYC service in that law firm, I used to serve as a secretary and errand boy as well. As of course, it might sound ridiculous, but truly speaking, that was some of the experience that I had back then. You know, they used to send me to buy some trivial things to them that didn't really make sense. So I know as a corporate or young person, when you are starting your career in an industry, business, or entrepreneurial aspect, private sector, government, people may tend to undermine your capacity. But it's your duty, 247 duty, to believe in yourself. I know that is not an easy job, particularly out there. The labor market is not easy. You keep receiving rejection letters here and there that will make you to start doubting yourself. But do well not to do that, please. Okay, because it's your duty. People will doubt you. I mean, if they would doubt you, they can definitely do that. But it's your duty to believe in yourself. I remember some of the tasks that the law firm used to give me as a young lawyer. It wasn't really something that I'm proud of or proud to share with you. I most of the times used to go to the court of law and do the cases, come back, do some drafting and other stuff like that. And when the principal of the law firm want to eat food, he will say, "Look, man, go to this restaurant and buy these stuffs to me, Coca-Cola, moi moi, and other stuff like that." So it didn't really make sense to me. I At some point I started doubting myself, like, am I really a barrister and solicitor? Was I really called to the bar? So I know there are so many young people or couples who are facing these challenges out there that it tend to really give a huge blow into their mindset that makes them to belittle themselves as well. But I'm sharing with you here that you have to keep believing yourself while utilizing the opportunity, because that was exactly what I did. I didn't really allow that to be into my head. When they sent me into the court of law, I go to the court of law, I do the case, I end up winning some of the cases. You have to keep doing that, keep believing yourself, to the point that when I spent 2 years there, the last year, I I established my law firm. I registered my own law firm, regardless of the fact that some of the treatment that I was receiving. So, in a nutshell, in all of this, if people can doubt you, they can do that. It's your duty to believe in yourself, who you. Okay, so this is the second segment that I want to share with you. Then the third one is I want to encourage corpers who are out there to use NYSC strategically. What I mean by using NYSC strategically is the fact that you need to use it as a stepping stone. All right, you need to use it as a stepping stone. For instance, you need to utilize every opportunity that the year brings, starting from attending activities, from joining different clubs that will add value into you, to joining professional programs. You need to use that as well. I think I remember during my NYC while serving in Jigawa, I used to run away from marching procession or whatever you call it, some of the military grill or some of the military activities. It's not something that I really liked. Like, I'm not that kind of person that I want to be that so much energetic or so much into military. My plan when I was serving, straightforward, I know what I wanted out of this NYC service, NYC or whatever. I know what I wanted actually. It's not for me to finish my NYC and join military or join police or whatever. So what is the essence for me to go into the field out there to be marching? Even though that is important, to me it's not, because I exactly know what I want. That is important for us to know who we are and what we want. Anything you have before you know how to streamline it. So when I run away from the marching or procession or whatever you call it, military activities, I usually join personal development trainings such as sustainable development goals training, um, financial training, public speaking, presentation, and so many other stuff like that. And I end up winning so many things out there because I knew where my strength is. This is where I'm good at. I'm not good at marching, shouting military songs and other stuff. That is not my business. I know it's good for some corpus and other stuff like that, but me, I know who I am. I know what I want. This is not what I want, and where I'm going is not related to military stuff. Even though I used to, do some practice at court martials, defending some of the civil officers, but anything related to physical combat or whatever the case may be is none of my business. So what am I trying to say in essence is that you, like me, you might not really like joining so many clubs or so many trainings, but you have to utilize or identify the areas of your strength and then attract all other opportunities on NYC camp that you really like, and concentrate on personal development trainings. That is number one. Then number two aspect of it is understand the community development service that you want to join. In joining your community service programs, you have to choose what you want to do in the future. If you really have that global mindset of bringing solution into the global problems, then chances are maybe you may think of joining CDS of Sustainable Development Goals. It give you global orientation on what is going out there, some of the challenges that countries are facing. And if you want to join education, there are CDS in education. And for lawyers like me, you can join legal aid, where you can be advocating the human rights and facilitating access to justice. So it's important you know what you want, and then everything around you that the NYC present before you, you have to point it, you have to choose it, and select the one that will be beneficial to you in the future. I think it's important. Then the fourth segment of it is utilizing opportunities. I believe that there are so many opportunities out there that NYC brings, but you have to, after identifying them and choose the one that you want to do, you have to really utilize them very well. Life is about utilizing the opportunities that the moment present before you. I remember when I came here in England studying my master's degree at the University of Essex. I applied into so many opportunities, but I was so selective in doing that. When I got selected in a volunteerism. By the way, I had the first speaker speaking about volunteering experience. It's very important. I can emphasize that more. It's very important. So when I opt into volunteering experience, That volunteering experience, I did it wholeheartedly. It aligned with Human Rights Clinic Center here in University of Essex, where we do a lot of cases regarding the violation of human rights across the globe. So when applying for the opportunity, I don't know that it will lead me to somewhere big, but this month, we in the month of April, on the 9th of April, I was invited by the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention to go and present a paper there. And I went there and I presented the paper there. Huge opportunity. I never dreamed of going to Switzerland to present a paper before United Nations Secretary. I mean, the expert, human rights expert. But what I'm saying is that I utilized the opportunity. As small as it seemed when I was applying for it, I didn't know that it will lead me to that global stage of being invited by the United Nations to present human rights paper there. But that was what happened. So what I'm saying in essence is that utilize the opportunity that NYC presents to you. Very important. You might not really know where it will take you to. Possibly it will take you to somewhere beyond United Nations. Last week I won an award from the University of Bedfordshire for a program that I joined. Just I saw the advertisement of the program on LinkedIn and I joined the program and I did the program and I ended up winning the best and most engaging delegate at the University of Bedfordshire and in the certificate and other stuff like that. So when I was applying for the opportunity, I didn't know that it would earn me that award from, I mean, one of the leading universities here in England. But I got the certificate, I got the award. So the opportunities that you have before you as a COPA may not really sound huge, may not really sound important to you. Just like when you were in university, there are so many courses that you took. That while you're taking the courses, you might not really understand how important it is, but you take the course regardless, and probably it led you to somewhere that you're so surprised, so amazed, like wow, this is important. It didn't really dawn on me how important it is. So identify opportunities and utilize it is very important. Then the number 5 segment of what I want to share with you is about personal investment. I believe NYC is that time where you don't you're not really serving the nation, as I really told some of my co-workers 3 years back. Then I used to tell them that while you're serving Nigeria, you have to serve yourself as well. How will you serve yourself out of the little resources that NYC presents to you? You have to utilize it and invest in your personal development. Make sure that you use NYC to launch a bigger move in the future. One example that I want to share with you is that during my NYC, I launched one challenge amongst young people, particularly corpus. 60 books challenge in a year, that every young person starting from January 2022, we're going to start reading books. Every 1 week we read one book. Every month we read 5 books. If you multiply 5 times 12, it will give you 60 books. So 60 books in 2026 in 1 year. And so many young people engage in it, so many corpus. We buy the books using our own alawi. Sometimes we borrow it, sometimes we download it. We use that for personal development. And I'm telling you, that tremendous level of investment, it changed my mindset, and it tremendously impacted those who participated in the challenge. So it's important when it comes to NYC for you to not only serve Nigeria, but serve yourself. How will you serve yourself? Invest wisely. The best investment, they say, is investing in yourself, because nobody will take it away from you. Imagine reading 60 books in a year. I mean, you might not really understand all of them, you might not really apply all of them, but it's huge. I'm still grateful for that challenge, and I believe that those who engage in the challenge are still really grateful for it. Trust me. And I cannot say that where I am now some of the books that I read really informed my decision. So please, am I communicating? Let me know. Hello. Are you communicating, please? Hello.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, yes. That's what I'm saying. We can hear you. Continue. You're communicating. You're with
Okay,
you.
thank you. So, secondly, one thing that I need to share with you is that I believe is important is about documenting your journey. It's about documenting your journey, documenting your NYC journey. What I mean by documenting your journey, if you attend an activity, a program, snap pictures there, publish it on your social media handles. Let people know what you are doing. Okay? Document every single step of your journey as a copper or a young person. Because they say a one picture is what thousands of words of description. So document your journey. If you volunteer into a community, if you accomplish a project, snap it, document it, tell the world that you did this and that. If you go ahead into a community and did volunteerism, share it. If you receive an award, commendation, or recommendation, share it with the world. It's very important, okay? Because almost every opportunity out there, you start looking for either job opportunity, global opportunity, they will definitely go and look what you're doing on your social media handles. Without you documenting some of this progress, you might not really evidence what you're doing. So please document all your activities. It's very important as a copper to document it. Okay. Then the seventh point that I believe is important is about preparing your document. I don't know, you might be having aspiration of maybe you want to apply for global opportunities, fellowship, scholarship, or jobs or internship or whatever the case may be. But any other things you want to apply, it requires document. There are some certain document that you have to get in the application process. It might be statement of purpose, motivational letters, transcript, certificate, result, or your CV cover letter, or English proficiency test or certificate, depending on what you are looking for. Going back to the point of understanding what you really want. If you know what you really want, then you will know the document that it takes for you to get it. Then you start preparing for it. When I was serving, I really knew. I knew straightforward that I was looking for scholarship to go and study my master's abroad. So that informed my decision of looking for some certain document. Okay, I knew that the scholarship journey usually requires transcript. I paid for it out of my allowance. I got the transcript. I collected my certificate, English proficiency test, whatever the case may be, and the people that I want reference letter from them, I reach out to them. I receive recommendation letters from them. So you have to do that as well. I think preparing your documents so that you don't wait till after NYC service. You start looking here and there, helter skelter looking for document that you might not really get time to do that. If it is passport that you are looking for, go ahead and do that. Okay. And I remember I remember somebody reached out to me last year, one of the mentees. He was telling me like some of the document that is required to apply for this scholarship, there is a passport. I said, yes, there is passport. And he said, oh, do I really need to go and do the passport? I said, like, this is really ridiculous question. I call his attention. I say, how will you travel out of the country without you having passport? How is that possible? He said that okay, I understand that being passport is it requires so many resources, maybe 100,000 naira or whatever the case may be. And what if I don't get the opportunity? And I smile as well, and I told him that you see, take the money that you want to do passport with. If you are doubting, take it and do something else with it. Maybe you go and eat suya, or you go and eat whatever you want to use, or buy some clothing. It's all risky. I say, if you're not willing to risk these things, how do you expect some people to invest, I mean, hundreds of million nairas on you if you cannot spend 100,000 for yourself? 100,000 naira for yourself. Like, how are you expecting others to sponsor you for millions of naira? It really doesn't make sense, right? So is one of the document. You have to take risks to gather the document, believing that it will lead you to somewhere beautiful, somewhere important. So that is it for document. Then and the eight points that I really want to share with you as well is there are some skills that are non-negotiable. I believe so. I truly believe that there are some skills that you cannot go to some certain stage of a global level without having them. One of them is communication skills. I mean, whatever your career is, you need communication skills. It's something that you have to work on it. It's something that I'm working on it day in, day after. Then another skills is storytelling skills. The storytellers control the universe. I mean, they control the world. It's not about doing great things out there. It's about telling it in a great way. Trust me. You can do all the good things in the world, but you must learn how to tell your story. Otherwise, the person out there somewhere in another country that maybe accomplished small things compared to yours may really take big credit because they know how to tell their stories. So you must know how to tell your stories. It's very important. It's very important. I believe that. Communication skills, public speaking skills, interpersonal relationship skills, and storytelling skills. Tell your story. Then the ninth point is of course focus in a world where there is full of distraction. I mean, knowing who you are, what you want, where you are going will give you that sense of focus. Okay, like I said earlier, if you don't know what you want, where you are going, then every win is favorable and it will take you to where you will not really like. So focus is very important because there are a lot of distractions out there. Okay, not every opportunities out there deserve your attention, deserve your time, energy, or resources. You have to really what you want. I told an audience the other time that in my cohort there are some people that rejected international prestigious scholarships and they went for another opportunities. Someone will ask why. They know who they are, they know what they want. So it's important and they focus on what they want better. So it's good to know what you want and you develop your skills and experience toward that. Because what you are looking for, what you are really looking for is looking for some certain peoples. And it's not your duty to be pursuing it, is your duty to be that kind of person that the opportunities are looking for. Then you attract it. Then the last one, which I believe is most important of all, is about networking. It's about connecting. It's about reaching out to people. It's about grabbing opportunities. There are so many networking platforms out there. LinkedIn is one of them. There are great people, amazing people who are doing good things. You connect with them. You see there are thousands of opportunities out there. You grab it and apply it. Network with them. There are so many people who are doing what you want to do. You go there, you connect with them, network with them, and of course, utilize every single opportunities out there. The one that are really in line with what you want to do. I believe that is important. So, in conclusion, I believe that in your journey as a copper or a young person, knowing yourself, what you want, and where you are going is extremely important. When you know yourself, you know what you want and where you are going, then your focus will shift. The way you believe in yourself will shift. Your mindset will shift. The way you invest, with the risks you take, the people you connect with, every other things will connect with that. So I hope that you sit down like I used when I was at the street of Lagos. Have a deep conversation with yourself. What do you really want? Who are you really? Where do you want to go? And how much do you really want what you want? And how much you are really willing to sacrifice for it? Then if you do that, go after it as if your whole life depends on it. Because in reality, it really does. So thank you so much for your attention. I wish you the best in your endeavors.
Thank you so much, Barrister Lukman. That was fast and concise. Thank you so much, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So we'll be taking questions now. So I'll go
Okay,
to the comment section to know if there's any question there.
go ahead.
Okay. So before I check the chat, um, I have a question. So
Okay.
I would like to read it out.
Mm-hmm.
So my first question is on voluntary. I can relate to your story. I'm not a barrister.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, sorry, sir. I don't know what happened. And I'll just ask only one question.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. As a government,
Hello.